Hello, it is Suzanne Sanchez, and this is my application presentation, my first one, and I'm excited to tell you about ABC. That is the app that I have chosen. I chose this app because I think it's versatile. I think it's very, very, very easy for the students to use. I'm kindergarten parapro, and right when our students come in our classroom, when they have their computer time, we are putting them on ABC. It's super easy. I'm going to take you here, and I'm going to show you just how easy it is. Now, within the first week of school, we don't expect for kids to know how to type, but they do know their ABCs. It does take a couple of weeks for them to ramp up, but once they get the keystrokes and what they need to do, they're up and they're running and they're ready to go. So it's abc.com, and generally in school, we've gone so many times that it just populates in the list, in your drop-down list of choices. They know what to do. This is the first time I've accessed it from this computer. So we'll just go with that. So as you can see, you log in. It's super easy. You can see exactly what you're supposed to do on the home page. And I'm going to go into the kindergarten grade. So you click in. And as you can see, here are your different little selections of different learning activities that you can participate in. And for this demonstration, I'm going to start first with the ABC letters. But before I do that, I think it is important to tell you all that just kind of in thinking of how this applies to the ISTE standards, I kind of reviewed, and the first ISTE standard I think that this really could fit into for the kindergartners is the Standard 1, which is the Empowered Learner, which means that the students leverage technology to take an active role in choosing. You can see here they have choices. And once you go in, you do the learning activities, and then within the learning activities, they would demonstrate their competency, which is part of that standard. And then in Standard 3, which is the knowledge constructor, it says that students critically curate a variety of resources using digital tools to construct knowledge. Well, that's what they're doing here. They're learning. They're building their own learning scheme, basically. And what we like to do, they have a different math app that they use. We like for them during reading centers to come in when it's their turn on the computer. We have 4 different groups of reading centers that we rotate around on a daily basis. When it's their day, they come in and they go and they choose ABC letters. And I thought I would just take you through some of the different lessons that you can go into, because I see the kids using certain ones that I think are really kind of cute, and I thought that I would go through and tell you how they fit into some of the Georgia standards. I did want to also mention, I'll go back out of the reading and literacy area here, and I'll take you into some math. We do let them go into math for our Fun Friday. They can pick whatever they want on Fun Friday. And it's just a lot of fun for them. So again, you can see here, ABC letters, 1, 2, 3 numbers, the holiday, that's kind of a fun area, strategy and skills. I'll walk you through some of that stuff. But the first thing I wanted to tell you about, let's see if it's here, if it's Molly's Magic Adventure. The girls love Molly's Magic Adventure. Now, if you look here while it's loading, you can see this little guy here where it says standards. What this will link you out to, I'll just click on it and show you really fast. It will take you to other games that match this same standard. And it's a Common Core standard. I'm going to tell you about the Georgia standards and how these different little activities that you can do fit into the Georgia standards. But now this is being slow. So we're just going to wait for that to reload. Sometimes it takes a long time for it to load because of the graphics. So we'll just kind of hold on here for just a minute, and we're going to go back to Molly's Magic Adventure. The girls love Molly. Molly's a unicorn. She is very magical. Let's see here. Here she is right here. Let's click on it again. Alrighty, we're back. And we're in business. So you click in and you go through. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's a narrator. She's narrating Molly's Magic Adventure. So Molly's looking for a rainbow. Which way should she go? So here already, they're asked to make a decision, a cause and an effect. They're going to see cause and effect here. That may not necessarily be kindergarten standard, but it is a literacy standard, the cause and the effect. So here's Molly. They're going to give you some sentences. They're going to ask you to make a decision here. And as you go through, here we go, hold on, here she comes. So Molly sees a mirror. Does she look in the mirror, or does she walk past it? They have to make a decision, and then also, you have to click on the arrow. So I'm just going to say she walks past it. And then so cause and effect. So here we go. You also have to follow around or follow along. So it's comprehension. The other Georgia standard that I noticed that this that can be applied to this is that the illustrations are supporting the text that's being written across the top. So here is a cupcake. So you can see the cupcake was animated when they read cupcake, and the magic berries were animated when they said berries. So there you're learning vocabulary. So I'm not going to go through the whole thing. There are other steps that she goes through. She has to make decisions. You help her make her decisions, and at the end she gets to her magic rainbow. What I also noticed is that we talk a lot in kindergarten about beginning, middle, and end, and we have the children identify the beginning, middle, and end. Well, this has a beginning, a middle, and an end as well. So that supports that standard. And it's a call and response, which, the children have to have comprehension skills for that as well. So that's Molly. We're going to back out of that, and we are going to go down here to spelling practice. Spelling practice is fun. This is another guy that is good for the kindergartners. It just takes a minute for it to load, but that's okay, because we have our patience. Okay. Here is this. Spelling practice. And we're going to go to primer, which is a kindergarten. Some things that I want to point out. When I did this the first time, I noticed that the words that they were giving for spelling practice were high frequency words. That fits into a Georgia standard. It also asks you to identify vowels, which is a Georgia standard, and it helps the child learn the letter placement within spelling, and I'll show you how that goes here in just a minute. So they have asked for us to, I don't know if you could hear what they asked, for us to spell pretty. So the child has to take and put in the boxes our oopsie. So there's a narrator. I don't know if you heard that at all. As I pulled the letters and put them in the boxes, she was saying the letter name. And then she spelled it letter for letter as the boxes animated throughout. So I'm going to push go, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be fast enough to get this little purple guy here. He wants the vowels. So let's see how it goes for Miss Suzanne here. All right, I got a vowel. Let's see. I think they want say. Say, yep. And if the kids have a question, they can just click on this guy and the narrator will repeat what she's saying. Nope, let me get that. Oh, see, I missed it. Was. This is was. I got him. Okay, so they just go through, and these are high frequency words, so you can see how that goes, and you can see how that fits into the Georgia Standard. So I'm going to back out. I'm going to do a couple of math, and then we'll talk about some other grades, and I think I'll be done. We're going to go back to Molly. Molly's an oldie but a goodie, but we're going to do birthday candle count because that fits into Georgia Standards as well. This is very simple. This is something that we do the first quarter. Okay, and the kids really, really like this one. So she was saying, how many years old is Olivia? So you click on the candle. 1. Now you have to select the number here that matches, and of course it's this. Okay, so click on the candles to find out how old Jaden is. So and the narrator is counting as you're clicking, and now you have to pick the number that matches. So you go through the cycle and you count all the candles, and this fits into the Georgia Math Standard where of counting and cardinality, where they have to know the number names and they have to count in sequence. They have to be able to count to tell the number of objects and then compare the numbers. So, you know, the candles down below need to match the number up top that was given to them. And they need to understand the numbers and the quantities and then connect that counting to the cardinality. Okay, so that was pretty simple. That's normally they normally get this within the first quarter. And then we're going to go back to Molly. Molly does word problems. And that is actually where we are right now in our class. We're doing addition and we're doing subtraction word problems. So this would be great to fit in with the Georgia Standard. And they do, like I said, they do get to do these sorts of problems and activities on the math problems on Fun Friday. Okay, so Molly adds up to 10. Here's Molly. She's the best. Okay, so I'm just listening to the narrator. The narrator just read the directions. So you're just going to follow directions here, click through. Here's Molly. She's going